I was surprised to find that I haven't made a video of any kind of this guy. I knew I hadn't done all that much, but I thought I'd done something, but I haven't apparently. This is the HobbyKing Walrus. It's tended to be a little bit of an orphan amongst my assembly of planes, basically because I bought it just after the Conscendo, and to me it kind of suffers by comparison with the Conscendo. It's very much the same general class of plane as the Conscendo, essentially a powered glider, but a 4-channel powered glider with the capability to do basic sport flying as well. I mean, it's clearly meant to be a powered glider. You know, it's got the folding propeller and by format and no undercarriage. You've got to hand launch it. And that's very much the same thing as the Conscendo is. The Conscendo's a little smaller, a little sleeker. The thing is, the Conscendo just glides absolutely beautifully. The Conscendo, I can keep it in the air for so long. You can glide it, and it glides so evenly and comes down so slowly. And I can throw the Conscendo in my car very easily. I can get this guy in my car, but he's a little tighter. I have to wiggle him a bit to get him in my car, especially if I've got other planes in. And he doesn't glide as well as the Conscendo. He's not bad, he's not horrible by any means, but he doesn't glide as well as the Conscendo. He's maybe a teensy bit more powerful, perhaps a little more agile with the sport flying than the Conscendo, but you know, when you wouldn't buy a plane like this primarily for the sport flying. He has flaps, came with flaps. I've never quite understood why. I mean, what are you supposed to do with them? I mainly use flaps for landing and takeoff, and you're going to launch this guy and he's going to belly land, so they're not really very relevant for that. Maybe they're supposed to improve the gliding, and we'll see. I'll have another go today, see if putting, I don't know, I'm a bit dubious though whether putting flaps on is going to improve gliding. But if they're not for improving gliding, I can't imagine what the heck you're supposed to do with the flaps, really. Oh well, who knows. So, as I say, there's nothing, the HobbyKing Walrus, there's nothing specifically wrong with it, but I bought it just after the Conscendo, and I can't deny that I enjoy flying the Conscendo a lot more. So, he's got the end of his horizontal stabilizers perhaps a little dinged there. Well, it's too late now anyway. I've got the EFC 721 on his tail, a little difficult to do because his horizontal stabilizer for some reason is set so far back relative to his vertical stabilizer, which makes it awkward to find room to attach the camera firmly. Okay, that camera's recording now, so we'll see what we can do. I'm trying to get my strap round my neck properly. It's kind of cold and misty this morning. It's already sunrise basically, but you can't really see the sun yet, and it's kind of cold and misty. I'm trying to fit this hat on in such a way that it won't fall off while I'm trying to fly. This came as a plug and play, and I've put a little lemon receiver in it. So it had basically everything ready to go except for a receiver when I got it. And it's just got the standard little lemon 6-channel receiver I tend to use all the time. Yeah. Got plenty of power to go up. Put some takeoff flaps. See, putting flaps on seems to me just to make it tend to pitch up. I'm trying to glide it, of course. Here. I put about half flaps on there just to see if they helped with making it glide, and perhaps they do a little, though I'm certainly having, well, of course it's got that half-ounce camera on its tail as well, which is another reason I'm having to give it, see, I'm trying to give it down, I see it keeps trying to go up on me. It keeps trying to go up on me, but then that's not entirely fair because it's partially because of the camera on the tail, probably. That's what it.
Flaps up.
Take the flaps up. Well, it is coming down faster with the flaps off. So maybe the flaps do help. Just getting some altitude there, and like any glider you want to
take off flaps.
You want to put it you got to get the nose down before you take the power off. Can't see, but look at how it's falling though. It's not, see, the Conscendo will just hold there and descend very, very, very gently. Trying to get this guy to do that is not so easy. That's pretty much a balanced even glide, I think. About as good as I can get as a balanced even glide, but he's definitely descending faster than the Conscendo would. Way faster. And that may not seem like a very fast descent, but believe me, it's a lot faster descent than you'd get with the Conscendo. So what can I say? You know, he's okay, but he suffers in general for what I'm trying to do with him by comparison with the Conscendo. He's not as good a glider as the Conscendo for sure.
Flaps up.
He might arguably be a little bit better, a sort of sport flyer than the Conscendo, because he seems to be, well, he is more powerful. I mean, the Conscendo's only...
Take off flaps, landing flaps.
So that's full flaps, I don't know what the hell. The Conscendo, I'm only flying with a 2-cell, so, you know, he's not very powerful. He's small, but he's not very powerful. God, I'm trying to get this guy into a balanced glide. Well, I'm not succeeding, am I? Trying to get this guy into a balanced glide. I've got full flaps out now as well. But trying to get this guy into a balanced glide is where he doesn't slip and slide and he doesn't stall, but isn't unduly nose down. It's just very tricky. Whereas with the Conscendo, it's not tricky. He does it very nicely. It's just so easy to glide the Conscendo well. Hardly any wind here, but I guess there's a breath of wind where he is. I don't know.
Flaps up.
Certainly drops a lot when you put the flaps up, but then that's natural.
Time remaining 6 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, you know, he's reasonably powerful and plenty agile, but
landing flaps.
But I'm not too impressed by his capabilities as a glider, not really. He's a bit of a struggle to make glide well, which for something that is predominantly really a powered glider seems to me a distinct shortcoming. He's a hair bigger than the Conscendo. If you had good thermals, I mean, I imagine you could glide him not too badly, but... and the flaps maybe do help with the gliding. I'm using the flaps now when I'm gliding him. But there's absolutely no doubt that he's descending way, way faster than the Conscendo would. I can keep the Conscendo in a glide way, way better than I can this guy. So, you know, and it's easier to throw the Conscendo in the car, so I'm more inclined.
Take off flaps, flaps up.
I'm more inclined to bring the Conscendo out than this guy, you know, because they kind of overlap. His speed is faster than the Conscendo, see?
Landing flaps.
Ah, well, you know, that's about what I do with this guy. I know. I believe it's true that... see, look how fast he's falling there, and he's basically in a glide. But look at the angle he's coming down at in. You know, he's just coming down so fast, which you don't want with a glider. You want a glider to stay up. It's the whole point. You want it to get maximum advantage from what lift it's got and stay up. And he just doesn't do a particularly good job of that. He sort of glides, but he's coming down way faster than you'd like, so you don't get a very good ratio of, you know, glide time to powered time. Whereas the Conscendo is just terrific. I get like flight time as against battery time, I get 7 to 9 times. This guy, I don't know, I haven't really timed him, but certainly not that much. We're not going to land in the long grass there. We're gonna come round and we're going to land on the field. There you go.
Throttle cut on. Flaps up.
Nothing radically wrong with him, but, you know, as I say, I'm not deeply enthusiastic about him, so, you know, he's suffered by comparison and doesn't get as many outings as he might, because, you know, I generally rather toss the Conscendo in the car than this guy. Yeah, see, there's the flaps.
Landing flaps.
They go out quite a way, the flaps.
Flaps up.
Got quite a bit of extension, the flaps. I can only assume they're meant to aid gliding, because I don't see that you need them. I had them on when I landed there, because I glided him into a landing. But you don't need flaps for landing, and you certainly don't need them for a hand launch. In fact, I'd rather have them off for the hand launch, so, you know, the only reason I can think of that they put flaps on it is to assist with the gliding, but I'm not too convinced they do much good, really. We'll stop this recording. There we go. Yeah, that stopped recording. So there you go, the HobbyKing Walrus.